Stranded in the open, dried out tears of sorrow, lacking all emotion, staring down the barrel, waiting for
कमरे में घुसता जैसे हाथी टेबल बैठा तो फिर गांधी करते मोटा 400 का होते दंगे चलती लाठी हमने हार से सीखा और सीखों से जीत बना दी सोना था हराम तभी तो किस्मत हो रही चांदी चांदी है मैं एक दिन रहता दिल्ली दूजे दिन मैं बैठा बाली पंगा चीते से तो समझो रास्ता बिल्ली काटे काली है कैन सी थ्रू ऑल ऑफ देम ये रैपर सबके सब है जाली जब जब पैरी मांगे पैर तब तब पैरी मांगे पानी यू नो जमीन ना की अरमानी है बोई और जैसे हम करते बावे ऐसा या करता नहीं है कोई क्योंकि शो के स्टॉप पर ठहरा दे दिक्कत ताके तो कहना बे चादर और टांगे फैलाते और मजनू अपनी लैला के मैं हूँ डिमांड में आजकल जैसे सर पे सह रहा है और जब भी देते हैं तो खाओ काफी गहरा दे यू नो इट तेरा वे पैंथर ZXC you know what it is
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. I'm your host, JD. We're live on multiple platforms, man. We're live on Beam, we're live on Twitch, we're live on Kick, and we're live on YouTube. Thank you so much for hanging out with your boy, JD, on this Monday evening. You already know what the deal is, man. We are going to be talking about Monday Night Raw review. Might be somewhat of a quick one. We didn't trade all the moves. We didn't do all that. And we'll kind of break down as to why in just a moment. But thank you again for hanging out and chilling with your boy. I have to make sure I got to check everything because things are kind of wonky as we do this multi-stream business. And again, I appreciate y'all hanging out and chilling with your boy this evening. Now, before we go into it, before we get into this review, we have to kind of go over what took place yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't remember exactly the day. Like, things happen so quickly, you lose track on like when things occur. I don't remember if this happened on Saturday or if this happened on Sunday, but whatever the case is, still not good. We do have to talk about it, especially since it's wrestling related. We got to talk about Roger Jackson and the incident that took place in California. So, I am not very good when it comes to explaining what's going on, to provide context. I'm really bad at explaining stories and kind of rehashing and making sure things are accurate. And there's a channel that I follow that's very, very good at doing that. So we're going to do a quick shout out to Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco had a feeling was going to pick this up and speak about it. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm sure many of you are already aware of what took place on Kick. A lot of things happen on Kick for whatever reason. We stream live on Kick, by the way. So like we appreciate what Kick provides, but there's just all kinds of nonsense that happens on that platform. Not to say that it's not happening on other platforms. It does. It's just we have to remember Kick, it's popping off. And when things pop off, you have to like be very careful what the hell's going on, because you're gonna mess around and you're gonna be highly regarded. You're going to be criticized heavily with a fine tooth comb. People are gonna be on you like white on rice. The moment someone on the platform messes up, and this goes for every platform, doesn't matter what platform it is, they're gonna pick it up, right? So let's just get this out of the way. Let Philip DeFranco speak and talk about what happened, so you have a clear thing what's going on. Another thing that I like about what Philip DeFranco does, he goes and gets as much context as possible so we all can see from the outside in what the hell's going on. I didn't even test the volume, so hopefully it sounds good. If it doesn't, I'll adjust and we'll go from there. So here we go. Philip DeFranco.
This Roger
man.
Jackson situation's insane. And if you're like, who the hell is that? Yeah. So he's Rampage Jackson's son, who, if you're not in that world, Rampage Jackson, very famous fighter. I guess now he's also a streamer. You have Raja Jackson, who's streaming. He's also an MMA fighter. And, you know, he wants to make a name for himself that's outside of his father's name. And well, I guess mission accomplished, because his name is out there, though it's not for good reasons. Because there was an event being held on Saturday by Knox X Pro Entertainment and Academy in Los Angeles, and it was getting streamed on Kick. And at the start of the stream, you had Raja and a wrestler by the name of Psycho Stu encountering each other. With Stu, seemingly as a work, right, something for the story, for the event, smashing a beer can on Raja's head. With things then getting pretty tense, but Stu apologizing a few times, explaining that he thought Raja was a worker, aka another wrestler.
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all.
So to break this down even further, because although Phil does talk about this, he doesn't mention that, well, he kind of does, but Psycho hits Raja inside the head with a beer can. And I would imagine this thing's fake, because think about this, right? He hits him in the side of the head with this beer can. Usually beer has beer in it, right? So if you hit anybody inside the head with a can full of beer, you're going to see that shit. You can see right here in this footage that, you know, there's no, like, his shirt's not like completely drenched in beer. I mean, we have no idea if this thing was even like a real beer can or not. I'm assuming it's not. I'm based on the after result, but things really got heated pretty quick. But Psycho did not know that Raja was not part of it. Like he was not considered a worker. And for those of you who don't know who that is, and I'm sure Philip would talk about this, a worker in the wrestling world is someone who is in on whatever's happening on the show, what's happening on camera and stuff like that. Raja was didn't have no idea what was going on here. So we continue.
Work out. I appreciate it. I didn't know. I thought you were a worker. Camera. I get it. We're not working out. Well, he's gonna come out on your mat, too. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
So right there, it's like, that's one of the few clips that people aren't really sharing online. Like you're seeing like the beer can situation that took place, and then you're also seeing what happened afterwards where he's wailing on Psycho, right? A lot of things are being missed is a clip just like that where Psycho actually apologized, and this happened well before the show started, right? Because there's also some Rampage also spoke on it, which ended up getting community noted, which is very interesting. But I'm just speaking on what happened. That's all I'm saying. Let's just continue.
With that last bit there, you can see that people involved in the event, they're trying to turn that into something in the ring, or where they can organize a way for the two of them to work it out on the mat. Then another person outlets have identified as wrestler AJ Mana seemed to suggest that Raja get real payback.
Even when we are working like that, and
That's what I'm saying.
But he doesn't call him like that. He
don't.
done that.
He's a fucking idiot. Hey. So when you run in on his, you can give him his receipt.
Or with a receipt.
So right there, I feel that could have been the moment where he was given the green light to do what he wants to do, right? From another wrestler. And this is also another clip that I don't see anywhere on X. This is something I pulled up on YouTube from Philip DeFranco. This is a clip I have not seen up until I've seen this video. So that just kind of gives you a little bit more context as to what's going on here.
Being, like a real hit. And on the stream, you even had Raja saying, like, we'll be good if I get my lick in. And at various points on the stream, Raja seems to think he's serious about fighting back.
No, I'm beating this guy's ass, bro.
And while you do have multiple outlets saying that there was supposed to be a scripted response from Raja, he eventually said during the stream,
Ain't no script, bro. It's not gonna be scripted. I'm telling you that right now. I promise you. They told me.
So you hear that, right? So even though, they've already had a conversation with Raja saying, hey, You know, this is the spot we want you to do when you get in the ring. He's talking to his chat saying, hey, this ain't no script. This is not scripted. I'm going in there with intention to do what he plans on doing. It gets worse.
Told me to hit him and just leave. Somebody who pull me off of him will leave. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hit him as many times as I can. Watch. I'm not gonna fake it.
You hear that? He says he's going to hit him as many times as he can. He even says right there in that clip, he was instructed to go in there, drop him, give him a hit, roll out the ring. That was his assignment in terms of what was going on there. But instead,
He also responded to people in the chat a lot as it seems they were egging him on.
How many subs to knock him out? That's a good question. I don't know. 50.
so yeah, someone in there asked him how many subs to knock him out. That already is pretty. This is gross, man. That's not the kind of community that I want in my shit, bro. That I can't. I can't. But also on the flip, you can take that how you want to take it. The streamer's responsibility is handling it how the streamer wants to handle it. Didn't have to respond to that. He didn't say, "Oh, well, you know, let's throw a number out there. How many subs to knock this dude out?"
50 subs, knock him out. 50 subs.
And then once Raja jumps into
So at this point, I don't know what happened. You know, I'm not watching this dude stream. Had no idea up until this point. And, you know, I can imagine maybe someone was like, they cashed out. Maybe this is just my guess. I'm not saying it happened or didn't happen. Because again, I didn't see it take place in terms of whether or not he was gifted money or gifted subs to do what he did in that ring. He had already had full intentions to do what he decided to do. But then, of course, the money may have motivated him to do even more. But again, that's just my guess. That's just my hypothesis. That's just my guess. But we don't know.
the ring, the stream shows him lifting Stu into the air, slamming him into the ground, and then not just getting a lick in, throwing punch after punch after punch, even after Stu can't fight back and is completely motionless.
So let me speak on this. Philip says that he can't fight back. Yeah, from the very beginning, Psycho did not fight back. He saw Raja coming from behind him. Raja picks him up. He's holding him for a minute, and then not even like a minute. Like, let's not be too over with it. He goes, elevates him, slams him to the ground. Back of his head hits the back of the canvas. And then from right there, you can see Raja just going off on him. And at no point is Psycho like they're trying to defend himself. He is out like a light. And I'm not even joking about this. Like, he's out like a light. He's not defending himself. There are some things that did bother me when that was taking place. The first thing, and like some people mentioned this, but other people didn't. It's like, yo, what was the referee doing in there? Like, the referee should know what the moves are going to be. The referee has direct communication with whoever is running the show. I don't know what technology that they have compared to other promotions, but there has to be something that should have triggered the referee saying, hey, wait a minute. One punch, not two, not 20. Referee should immediately been like, what the hell's going on here? But on the flip, I can understand where he came from. It's like, dude, this dude, he's in here like going off. I don't want to get mixed into this and then get wailed on. So I can understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's like, damn, man, you didn't even try. He didn't try until like, and I don't want to go and watch the actual footage. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Can't show you the video, but he punches at least 20 times, or with it seeming like he lost consciousness, without a bunch of people stepping in to remove Raja, get him off of Stu, and he was then walked out of the building.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody playing with me, bro.
With a journalist who's covered wrestling and MMA for decades saying that what happened here may be the worst thing I've ever seen in.
That's Dave Meltzer, by the way. So for those of you who don't know Dave Meltzer, he's definitely like a deep insider when it comes to the wrestling business, period. So like especially when it comes to like the high end stuff like WWE, AEW, like when it comes to the know-how stuff, he has a good grasp. He's not always 100% right. Like let's keep it a buck. He's not always 100% right. He's wrong sometimes, but he's usually pretty accurate. I don't like mess with Dave Meltzer like that, but he's been in the game for a long time. We're talking decades in the game, man. So it's when you see stuff like that and you see comments coming from former wrestlers, current wrestlers, wrestling media who's like, what the hell has happened? Like, this is pretty rough stuff. Pretty rough.
in a ring. Right, and as far as what happened, you had another reporter saying that the spot
Samar Sapp, another big player. See, like Philip DeFranco, he's out on the outside looking in, right? There's a lot of us who are actually like, we watch the product. We watch wrestling. We watch the big dogs, WWE, TNA, AEW, and so on and so forth, right? And so we know of Sean Sapp. We know about Dave Meltzer. We know about the Lance Storms, the Bubba Rays. Everybody in a mom's got a microphone and have a podcast nowadays, right? The Undertaker. Everybody, even Stephanie McMahon has a microphone nowadays. So it's like, we know of these folks. These are big names,
was planned, but when Raja followed up with heavy punches, he wasn't planned to do that kind of damage. And after this attack, you had Stu being quickly transported to the hospital for treatment. And as you can imagine, there's been a lot of outrage among the reactions. With, for example, Knock X releasing a statement sending good thoughts to Stu and adding what was supposed to be a
Here's another thing, too. I had no idea that Knox Pro Entertainment and Academy was a thing, for one. And that's not a knock on them. I wasn't aware of it. Two, I had no idea that, Rikishi, I don't know, like, his position in the company. I don't know if he owns the brand or if he has, some kind of executive power in there. He has a podcast himself as well. Everybody has a microphone, including myself. But yeah, I just didn't know about this. Another thing, which he'll mention here. So
planned and agreed
we'll
upon wrestling spot turned into a selfish, irresponsible act of violence, saying this egregious act is reprehensible and never should have occurred. In the 17 years of operation of KnockX Pro Wrestling Academy, there has never been anything as heinous take place such as this, and we apologize to our patrons and fans. Raja's father, Rampage Jackson, also responded, both condemning his son's actions, but explaining what he said was some of the story. Writing, Raja was told he could get his payback in the ring. I thought it was a part of the show, saying it was bad judgment and a work that went wrong. And adding, Raja is an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler, and had no business involved in an event like this. I don't condone.
So, there are some things that Rampage is saying here that, a lot of people would agree with, which, mind you, pay attention. You got community noted, by the way, but there are still some things he said in here that is true. Professional fighter getting involved with a wrestler usually does not end well. So it does beg to differ. The question is, what was Raja doing there in the first place? And that was actually a question my friends were asking me. It's like, first off, I'm confused. What is he even doing there? Right? So it was like, no idea. There's way more information that we need to find out. Like, why was he even there? Like, no idea. But like, it is what it is.
Condone my son's actions at all. But then adding, he suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago and had no business doing anything remotely close to physical contact. I'm very upset that any of this happened, but my main concern now is that Mr. Smith will make a speedy recovery. And as far as Stu's condition, you had a wrestler who stepped in to stop Jackson, telling USA Today that he was awake and talking on Sunday, but had broken bones in his face and lost a lot of teeth.
That's wild, dude. Like, yeah, he did some actual damage. Like, bro got hit in the side with a fake can, as far as we know. And in exchange, he replies by damn near beating dude to an inch of his life, messing up his face. And man, that's messed up.
With matting, he was choking on his own blood and teeth. Somebody reminded me there's kids there, and then I was like, oh my God. This dude's brother also reportedly asking for prayers as he's in stable but critical care. And just tons of people in the wrestling world sounding off, saying things like, I've known and trained with Stu for 15 years. He is a former
Miro to be Nero Rusev, currently active wrestler in WWE, feuding with Sheamus. Has a match at Clash of Paris. That's going down. Like, this is an actual wrestler, by the way.
Former U.S. Army veteran and amazing guy. There are no excuses for what happened in that ring. That was vomit-inducing criminal.
Let's see. Who is Nolan King? I'm not exactly sure who that is, but
behavior. He also had some pointing to the fact that Stewart had previously talked openly about how he turned to this sport after being in the military and found that wrestling gave him structure, brother.
Yeah, so this is a complete cluster. As you can tell, like, it gets worse and worse. You didn't find out that Cycle, was a vet, and he went to wrestling to deal with the PTSD that he had, had to go through, who had to experience what he went through, serving his time for the country. So it's like, damn, it gets worse. My God.
Brotherhood, a way to channel his energy and fight through the battles within. I mean, you even had the likes of Mr. Beast chiming in, offering help to Stewart, saying this hurts to see, especially because I read he was a veteran that used wrestling as an outlet to get over PTSD. Genuinely, if anyone connected to him knows of a way I can help, please reach out. And then with all this, you had some accusing Raja of nearly killing Stewart and arguing he should face charges, which on that note, a spokesperson for the LAPD did tell multiple outlets that they're investigating the incident, but they didn't give any further details. And then as far as other potential consequences, it seems like Raj has been suspended from streaming on Kick for violating the platform's guideline.
Kick doing the bare minimum.
And well, of course, you know, I'd love to know your opinion, whether you agree or disagree with me. I gotta say, this motherfucker belongs in jail. I've seen
What's up, Mikey? How you doing, man? How are you and how's chat doing today? Well, you're the first person, so I'm gonna have to ask you, how are you doing? Chat, Mikey equals chat, because you're the chat. Welcome to the stream, bro. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing all right, man. Let's see, Mikey. See if this stuff's working. It should be working. Kicklegs doing what it's supposed to do, at least from the looks of it. Let me check it real quick. It's still not doing what it's supposed to do. Okay. But at least it's alive. I return the Kick and all this weird stuff pops off. Makes me disappear. Makes me disappointed a bit. Yeah. Trust. And like, this is just the beginning. Like, this is one of many controversies and nonsense and fuckery that happens on this platform. I don't understand it, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. It gets on my nerves. It's frustrating, you know. It's very, very frustrating to have to deal to be a part of that, because when stuff like this happens, this makes the entire brand look bad. Can you imagine, like, just go on social media right now, look at all this stuff that's going on. You got people out here losing their stuff, talking about they're completely outraged over this going on and the fact that it happened on, you know, Kick's platform, and they'll never go and view on Kick, and people who view on Kick are assholes and idiots and stuff like that. It's like, I don't condone what happened here. Trust and believe that. As a wrestling fan myself, like, I am livid. I am pissed off. Like, this, it has a stain on the entire business as a whole. So it's just very unfortunate. Yep, we all look bad. I said this 2 months ago and got told, no, it doesn't. Wow. That's wild, man. That is absolutely wild. And this keeps getting worse. We had someone getting shot with a paintball gun in the rear. You have this crap that's going on. Today, someone went and, you know, they're doing this prank at a Home Depot, spraying water on a random customer who was just there to go shop for plants. But what they ended up getting was just doused in water. She was pissed off. She ended up calling the police, because then the reason why she called the police was because she noticed that she was being recorded to be used for views. Ain't that a bitch? And of course, they got banned. So it was like, I just don't understand it, man. Yep, it's Sue said, we catch strays to actions of another. That's right. When one person does something silly, everyone else, it may not be now, it may not be next week, it may not be next year, but it could, hopefully it doesn't, it can have major ramifications going to the future, and it punishes everybody on the platform just because of a few bad apples. And these apples are sour as it gets. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. IRL content is having a snowball effect. Streamers seeing a newer platform that pays better, so they'll do whatever it takes, even if it means hurting someone. One person will go to X limit, and then another will say, how further can we go? You know, it's crazy, right? And like, this is just, it continues. You got people who are literally in trial who might be doing 20 to 40 in prison for being a nuisance out of the country just to see where things go. And that this is not necessarily a Kick problem. This is just like IRL in general. You know what I'm saying? Kick's kind of part of it, but there are other platforms that also support IRL streaming, and, you know, people are just fucking around and finding out. The sad thing is there's more than one person doing, like, they're in, either one person's in jail, another person is just kind of out and about but has to report to court. It could potentially be seeing 20 to 40 in prison for being a nuisance. I just don't get it, man. Yep, I remember that. This is our creation issue. I think this has to do with the content creator space. Sadly, punishments such as jail time or whatever isn't doing anything to deter it. Yep, it's not, because they get out and they do it all over again. They wait for that 7-day ban to be released and they right back out on the streets. It's crazy. It's wild stuff. It's wild, wild stuff. But that's how it is. This segment's almost over. Let's have Phil finish what he has to say.
Some people saying, oh, well, he got rage baited into it, whether it be that other wrestler talking about receipts or people in his chat going like, oh, you're soft. But I don't know, call me crazy. I don't think, Your Honor, I got triggered is a defense. Your Honor, Clout Goblin 69 said I was a soft boy, so I had to let him know I'm not. And the way he continued to pummel this man while he looked unconscious, I don't know how you argue that's not attempted murder. Because again, having a fragile ego is not a legal defense. From Stu's apology and the handshake to just the assault, it's just documentation of what very much appears to be premeditation. But as far as the what should happen versus what will happen, we're going to have to wait to see. And of course, in the meantime, I'd love to know your thoughts. But then...
So that's that for that section there. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. You know, I had to talk about that before we got into the Raw review. Like, I definitely don't condone what happened. It's very, very unfortunate. And I hope Psycho gets better. He recovers. And there's nothing worse than like having to deal with that over some nonsense too, you know? So the other thing, that promotion, by the way, that promotion was also affiliated with WWE with their WWE ID program. For those of you who don't know, is their kind of like underground developmental program, and they have some WWE ID champions out there. There's one for the men, one for the women, and how that works is they are basically going out there to this whole network of all these different underground independent promotions that WWE collaborates with, and if that champion goes into said promotion and you know they're fighting for that championship, if someone from the other promotion beats the WWE ID champion, that person then gets rewarded with a WWE ID contract. And they could potentially, you know, grind their way into the main roster and, you know, head up to these PLEs and WrestleMania, all this stuff. It's wild that that's a thing, which is cool that they do that. But that promotion where all this took place was a part of the WWE ID. They still are, as far as I know, but that could be in jeopardy because I can imagine WWE wanting to be affiliated with shit that happened over there. I would hope that WWE sees that as, you know, a one-off situation, something that doesn't happen, and, you know, they don't just, you know, completely wipe them and say, nah, we're not messing with y'all because this took place. It's a bad look for us, blah, 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 blah. You know how people get, you know, soon as a hint of controversy happens somewhere, a lot of folks, especially if they got money in the game, they back out faster than you can snap your fingers. It's just how the shit goes. So this is how it goes. So now we got that out the way. Let's go ahead and get into the Monday Night Raw review for August 25th, 2025. So for those of you who are hanging out, thank you so much for hanging out with your boy JD. If you're watching this live on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Consider hitting that subscribe button. For all the other streaming platforms, you already know what to do. Hit that follow button. We're 8 followers away from 900 over on Kick. All the other platforms, man, if there's hang out and chill, relax, vibe, have a good time. That's all we ask. I hope you have a wonderful time as we go through this review. This is a quick review. I didn't take notes of every single move that took place. I only took like notes of like big spots, promo segments, story stuff, kind of talk about things that goes from there. All right. So Monday Night Raw they're international. They have Clash in Paris this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. because they're on the other side of the world. So things take place, you know, earlier our time than it normally does. But they take place in Birmingham, United Kingdom. Crowd is on fire like it normally is out there in the international crowd. We definitely know that, You have Rhea Ripley going up against Roxanne Perez tonight. You have LA Knight going against Braun Breaker. You have Penta going up against Kofi Kingston. And there were some other matches that took place. They build upon the night, and we'll go ahead and have that conversation as we get to it. But let's go ahead and get this show started. It all starts as advertised. Roman Reigns comes out. So what you got to do. You have to
Acknowledge me.
You have to acknowledge your tribal chief, the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Makes his way to the ring. Crowd is going crazy. They're cheering Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. You know how they do it out there, especially out there in the UK. Hell, this out there international altogether, that's what they do. Stand up if you love Roman Reigns. And then they're also chanting OTC. OTC. That's what they do. Roman Reigns, he's got big plans for tonight, as well as for the next few weeks, as well as for next year. Roman says that if you acknowledge him, it's time that he needs to start acknowledging things that's happening around him. He needs to acknowledge that it's time to try to move on and try to do different things. Roman says that he is not the same Roman that he was when he had the bloodline, when he had the Ulafala around his chest all the time, when he was the undisputed WWE champion. Krause is saying, yes, he is the same Roman Reigns. So Roman responds by saying he can be that man. One part of its promo, he mentions Cody Rhodes, and he says that Roman Reigns says that Cody predicted about a year and a half ago that he was going to lose everything. And as he was saying this, and as he mentioned Cody, the crowd was started to boo. Like, they were upset that Cody Rhodes is the face that runs the place, which is kind of weird. Are they upset that Cody didn't go heel? I mean, they can't risk their biggest star going heel. It affects their money. It affects their profits, guys. You can't have Cody go heel too early. You gotta let this stuff simmer. You gotta let this thing cook. You know what I mean? And as this is happening, he mentions Cody. The crowd starts booing. Roman's like, interesting. Very interesting. But then he starts talking about the Vision. Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and the Oracle, Paul Heyman. And when he mentions the Vision, crowd boos much louder. Roman's like, okay, I understand the booing for that. We get this. The Vision has taken everything away from Roman. And then as he mentions that, the crowd is chanting F you, Rollins. Roman says he has to acknowledge that he doesn't have what he used to have. Roman doesn't even have the bloodline anymore. Roman says his time will come when it's time for him to re-pursue that WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Roman says that the Vision took everything away, so much so that they have to find some things to take from Roman, aka the Shula Fala, from the tribal thief Bronson Reed. And as soon as he brings up Bronson Reed, before he can even go further, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Heyman comes out along with Bronson Reed, along with the Shula Fala, the two pairs of sneakers that Bronson Reed has taken from Roman Reigns at this point. We'll make sure we keep track of stuff, make sure everything's on track. Perfect. As Paul Heyman is doing what he's doing, the crowd's telling Paul to shut the fuck up. Paul says that it was 5 years ago to the week that Paul Heyman became Roman Reigns' wise man. Paul says that he misses his tribal chief. He says that he loves his tribal chief. He said he loved him 5 years ago when they started that relationship, and he loves him today. That's why he came in tonight. He came in tonight to disrespect Roman out of love. Paul says Bronson Reed is tough enough to give Roman that tough love that he needs to give him. Roman says that Paul is going to kiss his ass because he's going to beat Bronson's ass at Clash in Paris. Bronson says that the match in Paris is all about disrespect. This is why the match is happening. Bronson is talking about his tribe compared to Roman's tribe. Bronson says that he is the Samoan that Roman's father warned him about. And at Clash in Paris, he's going to find out why. Roman's like, is Bronson Reed Samoan? If this is true, then you belong to me. He tells Bronson to get in this ring and he needs to acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me.
And the crowd starts chanting, give his shoe back. Give his shoes back. Like, come on, man. Are we really doing this? What is this? What is this? All right. Since Bronson Reed wouldn't go into the ring, Roman went to Bronson. And so Roman gets out the ring. He runs towards Bronson and they start throwing hands. Bronson responds and he throws Roman into the ring. Roman gets up, recovers, he gets right back, and they're both throwing hands again. Security starts coming in to get involved to break things up, but it doesn't work. Bronson hits Roman with a splash into the corner. Bronson goes up because right now Roman's in the drop zone for a tsunami. So Bronson goes up to the turnbuckle. Roman gets right back up, hits Bronson Reed with a Superman punch to get Bronson Reed off the turnbuckle. Bronson Reed retreats, but Roman isn't done. So he runs out to the outside of the ring to the floor and he starts charging at Bronson Reed. They continue to beat up on each other as they are going back to as they're in the entryway going back to stage. They continue to beat up on each other. The segment ends, they go to break, goes into commercial. And at first, let me speak on this before we continue. So one of the benefits of getting Netflix Premium Edition or the premium tier, that one is damn near $20 a month. When Raw takes their break, the show continues on. There's some back segment going on, or maybe there's additional things that's happening in the middle of a match. You know, the match continues. It doesn't stop because they go to break. The match keeps going. One of the benefits of being premiums, you see these things. Now, that doesn't happen when you watch a VOD, a video on demand version of the same thing that just took place. You get a cut down version of the show. Almost like Hulu, like how Hulu used to do it. I don't know if they still do cut down versions of Raw because we don't have Hulu. I don't know how they do it anymore, but actually, yeah, they wouldn't, as far as I know, since it's exclusive to Netflix. Anyways, yeah, we didn't get to see all the extra stuff that happens, but in this segment, it just kind of stops. It comes back. It's still in the middle of a break. It shows Roman and Bronson. They break things up. Everything's kind of done. And they kind of just talk about the card and stuff. But anyways, yeah, we don't get to see all the extra stuff, so I don't have that, and I apologize. Kind of what happens when you're working in the middle of the show. It just is what it is. So, back to the show. Tag champs Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they're backstage. They're walking towards the ring as JD McDonough has a match against Dragon Lee. But before they get to the Gorillas area, before they hit the stage, they catch Dominic Mysterio having a conversation with El Grande Americano. Finn and JD go towards Dom. They're asking Dom, yo, what's going on here? Why are we having this conversation with El Grande Americano? Dom says, don't worry about it. Everything's under control. I got this. See you a little bit later. And so they're like, okay, whatever. Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they head to the ring. And so JD starts his match with Dragon Lee. And again, like I said, when it comes to these matches, I'm not tracking every single move that happens. You want to see that? Watch the show on Netflix. Watch the highlights on WWE.com. Watch the clips they post on X. But I'm going to give you, like, you know, give you the clip notes, all right? I'm going to give you the clip notes on what's going on. One thing that I need to do is kind of add a little bit more to the other stuff, but this is a learning segment. We just do what we want to do, and we kind of learn as we go, and feedback comes in, we adjust, but we go from there. Anyways, Finn Balor gets ejected from ringside because he's about to get froggy. He's about to do something to Dragon Lee, but before that happens, referee Jessica Carr notices it, and she's like, I'm not having this nonsense. Out. So she kicks Finn Balor out. He gets ejected. The match carries on, and we go to break. When we come back from break, Dragon Lee hits a wild sit-down powerbomb. I'm not exactly sure what the move is called, but it looked pretty crazy. He had JD up. He hits him with a powerbomb, but he damn near had him so elevated going the opposite way. They almost look like a pile driver at the same time. I'm like, how the hell you do that? That looked nasty. But JD kicks out at 2. At this point, at first, I thought my internet was going out. I mean, there was a crazy a sandstorm. We got hit with a kaboob. For those of you who don't know, in the desert, when it's monsoon season, when you got wind, you got rain, you get something called dust. And when dust and wind move quickly, you got yourself considered a problem. And so at first, I'm like, okay, maybe my internet's going out. No, like the stream just started crapping out. It was just the frame rate started dropping like something crazy. And there was a lot of things that were missed. All of a sudden, Dominic Mysterio shows up. It's like, where the hell he come from? It's just the stream had crapped out so much it just recovered. But all of a sudden, Dom just shows up. He's getting involved. He's interfering in the match. But AJ comes to save the day. He comes out. He handles Dominic Mysterio. Gets him out there. They're wrestling in the crowd. And they're kind of getting out of the way. But Dragon Lee then hits his finishing move, which is called the Operation Dragon. Pins JD McDonagh for the win via pinfall. So the feud between AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio is going to continue, as you know. Dominic Mysterio was going to be the AAA Mega Champion with the AAA promotion, but AJ Styles got involved. And, he melded in and got involved and stopped that from happening in response to how Dominic beat AJ Styles at SummerSlam. And that storyline continues on. And we'll talk more about that as the show continues. Jackie is in the back. It almost looks like she's in a restaurant environment with LA Knight, asking about what happened last week and what LA Knight has planned for tonight's main event against Braun Breaker. LA Knight brings up the fact that CM Punk kind of just shrugged his shoulders when he accidentally pushed LA Knight through a table. And that was pretty much basically the segment. He was upset that CM Punk, like he wasn't sure if CM Punk was actually trying to make sure that he makes it to Clash in Paris. Because the whole CM Punk thing right now is that he just wants to make sure that Jay, LA Knight, and himself are 100% come Saturday. Because the Vision, their purpose is to completely soften these guys up, make sure they're not even good to go before Paris. But that ends up playing a role later on in the night. So we'll talk about that. After that, Penta comes out into the ring. He's making his way in on his way against Kofi Kingston for his match. Before that happens, Rusev is hyping up Clash in Paris with his match against Sheamus. He's talking about a whole bunch of stuff. And again, like I said, man, like we're not getting into the details on the small stuff. Obviously, we know that Sheamus and Rusev have been beefing for months. Ever since Rusev came back, he was beating up on the little folks. He's beating up on Akira Tozawa. He's beating up on, on the Academy. He was beating up on him, right? And so Sheamus is like, yo, how about you beat up on somebody your own size? And this has been a long-term booking situation between him and Rusev. I mean, they even have a history well before all of this, you know. They go way back. And for them to come back and just have bangers of matches and have these feuds, constantly beating up on each other backstage, the rumblings continue even after matches, and it just happens randomly in the back. And Adam Pearce is out there raging out, trying to keep everything under control. It's not like he has control of his locker room, but it is what it is. So he's hyping up that match. He's ready to rock and roll this come Saturday, and we're moving on. We go backstage. Judgment Day is pretty much upset as to what happened, what just occurred with JD McDonagh. He's pissed off. Finn's pissed off. He's like, bro, like, look, man, I tried to do my thing, but I got kicked out immediately. Dom's hating up on Finn, like, yo, man, I need the AJ Styles problem to be fixed. Can we please handle AJ Styles tonight? Finn, I need you to go and challenge AJ Styles tonight. He's like, okay, fine. I'll go ahead and go through this match. I'll go talk to Adam Pearce right now. And so that basically confirms the match later on in the show between AJ Styles and Finn Balor. The match between Kofi Kingston and Penta starts. And again, we're just kind of talking about Cliff Notes, right? This is the short version, all right? You want the full version, you know where to go for that. Anyways, the match starts. While this thing's going on, you have Big G, Grayson Waller, for those of you who don't know. He went all the way towards the back. Oh, not towards the back. He went to Corey Graves, and he had him sign a petition. And this particular petition is to ban the Mexican Destroyer as a wrestling move. To remove that move from Penta because it's causing all kinds of damage. You see Xavier Woods wearing this cool little top hat, but then also wearing a neck brace from the damage he took from the Mexican Destroyer. Is he really hurt? Who knows? He's probably playing a game. He's probably playing the parts. Just like Tito is playing a part over on Kick. What's up, bruh? Welcome in. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Thank God for the new day. Yeah. Thank God for the new day. Yeah, that part's still not working. That's okay. At least Botrix is still working. Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. We just went through a crazy fucking sandstorm today, but we good. No power outages, no internet outages. We were able to watch the show after work and get these notes taken care of. But yeah, it was crazy ass fucking sandstorm earlier today. But that's how it goes in the desert. You know how it goes. Yeah. All right. So Kofi gets thrown out the ring. Oh, and by the way, that petition has 27 signatures so far. Probably all the folks that got destroyed by the Mexican Destroyer by Penta. Those are probably the 26 folks. And then Corey Grace was the 27th signature for this petition to ban the Mexican Destroyer move. How's the car's paint job after the storm? I don't know. I hadn't checked it. But, you know, we wash the car every 2 weeks, so we're not worried about it. But I should probably take a look at it. It's dark though, so I can't be concerned about it. It is what it is. The wrong car is in the garage. the key is in the garage. The Ford's outside, but it is what it is. Yep, Tito getting his licks in. He's getting his wrestling matches in live on Kick. I keep forgetting we have this too. I think this is still a thing. Yep, it's still a thing, and we got a 14-incher. Yes, sir. This is still a thing on our stuff. Yep. The truck should be inside. Well, it's whatever, man. It's a truck. It's a truck. It's supposed to withstand shit like that. It's fine. You got 11. That's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's not 14, but, you know, 11's work. 11's work. You can do something with 11. Do more with a 14. All right, so let's keep this thing going. Kofi gets thrown out of the ring before Penta could attack him with a springboard move, like maybe he hops over the ropes and hit him outside the floor like he typically likes to do. The New Day does some funny shit. They run towards the back of the stage. They're like, we're not trying to get this heat. And they're running. They ran their ass through the entryway almost back to the Titantron. It's like, no, we don't want that Penta smoke from the top rope. We're good. So that was actually a funny spot in my opinion. That was kind of cool. So from there, during break, Penta gets tossed over the announce table, so he takes a pretty interesting bump there. Back from break, Kofi kicks out of the Penta driver, folks, which, to my knowledge, I don't know if anyone else has ever kicked out of the Penta driver in WWE. Kofi would be the first person to do that. Let me know if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure. And I'm not talking about someone like going in there and breaking up the pin. I'm talking about Penta hitting the Penta driver and someone kicking out of it. Did they just soften off that move and making the Mexican Destroyer way more powerful? Who knows? Who knows? But anyways, a Big G interferes, gets involved. Penta tries to get... He's trying to go for the Mexican Destroyer from the top rope, but Kofi gets away. He counters. He actually hits Penta with Trouble in Paradise, and Kofi gets the win over Penta 1, 2, 3 via pinfall. Wild stuff. I did not expect a win from Kofi using the Trouble in Paradise finishing move, but he ended up getting it done. Shout outs to that. So, Michael and Corey Graves, they are recapping WWE Unreal, which I've only watched, I think, 1 or 2 episodes. I can't believe I haven't finished watching that one yet. I've made it a goal to watch WWE Unreal weekly. I don't like binge watching shows, like, unless it's something I've already seen. But like for WWE, I'm trying to savor it. I'm trying to make sure it's valuable. I'm just making sure that, you know, it's worth watching instead of just binging it in one shot. A lot of people do. And for those of you who do, more power to you. That's not me. I'm going to try to, you know, treat it like a weekly episodic show. So, you know, we have a good time and we enjoy the shit as it happens, you know. So, as that's going on, they're recapping WWE Unreal. They're also recapping last week with Io, with Rhea coming to save her. As y'all know, we talked about this last week. Io was going up against, I believe, Raquel Rodriguez. And after the match was over, they were beating the crap out of her. Rhea Ripley comes in to save her last week. And then we were backstage with Io having a conversation with Rhea Ripley. Io's asking Rhea to please, if she can, to please stay out of her business. You know, she appreciates Rhea Ripley coming in to save her, but the Kabuki Warriors have a problem with Rhea Ripley getting involved. Not sure why, but they have a problem with it. And so Io is asking Rhea to stop. I appreciate it, but we gonna have to chill, take a break. It's like they're breaking up, like they're in a relationship or something. But, you know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how that's working out. Anyways, while this is all taking place, the Kabuki Warriors they're just kind of in the background and they're noticing that this conversation is being had. They don't know what's being said. So they don't know that Io was trying, you know, break ties with Rhea and be like, you know what, like that was not what they interpreted. So after Rhea's like, yeah, I understand it. I know you got your thing going on with the Kabuki Warriors. I'm going to stay back. I'm going to chill. You do you. All good. They hug it out. The Kabuki Warriors see that in the shadows in the back. They got a problem with it. They're thinking, man, why is this still going on? You know, so it's just an interesting storyline there. We got El Carestro over on YouTube. What's going on with you, bro? Welcome in. I heard TKO is about to hire you to do an after show, bro. Hey, yo, they do that. I'm cool with it. Let's go. Give me some money. Give me some money. I need some of that money, man. Just kidding. But I appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing good. Great job with the recap. Hey, I appreciate the feedback on that, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. We're going to keep this thing rocking. We're going to keep this thing rolling. And I appreciate the Beam chat for actually working when it comes to YouTube chat. So I didn't miss that. Thank you very much. Appreciate the Unichat. All right. Moving on, they're recapping Naomi's announcement. Big Jim and Naomi, they're coming with another oos, bro. They're coming up with a brand new oos. 9 months to go, 9 months to go. And after that happens, there is a segment between Adam Pearce and Stephanie Vaquer. For those of you who may have forgotten, Stephanie Vaquer is the #1 contender for the women's championship, but the championship has been vacated, has been relinquished and vacated. And with that being said, Adam Pearce told Stephanie Vaquer that match at Clash in Paris is not happening. So I'm like, whoa, that's, I mean, obviously you're not going to just hand Stephanie Vaquer a championship. She has to earn it, right? So Adam Pearce says he has a week to figure out what he's going to do with the WWE Women's World Championship. And of course, it has to involve Stephanie Vaquer because she's #1 contender. So she has to get a shot, an opportunity to become Raw's WWE Women's Champion. So that's what's happening there. After that, the big time shows up. Becky Lynch, she makes her way to the ring. She starts, doing her stuff with a promo. Becky says that you can boo all you want, but here's a fact that you may not have known. She says that Buckingham
Birmingham, Buckingham. Holy shit, that's a Falcon punch for real. Oh my god, that was a Falcon punch, bro. I cannot. Birmingham. Let me get it correct. Oh, we definitely got to get it correct. Let's see. She would never take a belt being handed to her. She wants to get the win, yeah, via pinfall submission. You know how Stephanie does, man. She puts the work in. We haven't seen her wrestle in a few weeks. We haven't seen the kiss of death. I'm like, what's going on? You gotta make sure she's ready for this. Someone needs a Io shoddy uppercut. Yep. A Io shoddy uppercut. Yep. But I found that interesting. Stephanie hasn't, at least we haven't seen her wrestle live on Raw or SmackDown in recent weeks. But anyways, Becky says that you can boo, but she said that Birmingham was the first place where she actually had her tryout with the WWE. But she says that it was a dump then and it's a dump now. Like, goddamn, Becky, how you gonna treat him like that? How you gonna treat him like that? Anyways, Nikki Bella comes out. Nikki says that if Becky is not a dog, that she doesn't just do things because the dogs are barking, why is she being a bitch? Becky says Nikki doesn't call the shots. Becky does. Nikki responds by saying Becky should be thanking her for paving the way for Becky to even have something to write in the history books. Becky wants to replace Nikki and has been doing a great job ever since. Nikki says that B is scared of Nikki. Becky says she's the greatest wrestler of all time. And she goes into her whole accolades. I'm the best. Sports Illustrated says I'm the best women's wrestler of all time. Nikki says, don't care about what Sports Illustrated said. Goddamn. We don't care. Nikki says that Becky is super desperate. How she's kind of really beating up on the crowds to get them to kind of egg her on and stuff like that. She says she's scared and she's super desperate. Then the crowd starts chanting, Becky's desperate. It doesn't get super loud, but you can hear what they're starting to chant. And Becky's trying to stop all this. But at the end of the day, Nikki calls her the C word. And you know the C word we're talking about. It's coward. Not the other C word that Becky thought she was going to say. Becky brings up Ozzy Osbourne. Shout outs to Ozzy Osbourne. And says that was the only good thing to come out of Birmingham. And it was a good thing that he moved to LA. Oh my goodness. So anyways, Becky's had enough. She tries to attack Nikki. Nikki counters. Both of them are trying to hit their finishing moves. And none of that works out. But Becky ends up escaping and retreats. Nikki is standing tall with the Intercontinental Championship in her hands. She tosses it back over to Becky. From there, match has been confirmed for Clash in Paris. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella for the Intercontinental Championship. I feel Becky's going to win that one. I just think that she's just on a roll with her heel terminology right now. Nikki is, Hall of Famer. She has my respect in that regard. But I don't think she has what it takes to beat Becky when it's all said and done, when it's time to show up, do what she's got to do. There has to be some non-fuckery happening for this to really go down. I think Becky, obviously, she's going to be pulling some strings. She's going to be doing some weird stuff to get ahead. I feel that Becky's going to win that match come Saturday. All right, we're back. Sorry. Becky would have preferred being called cunt over that. Probably, but this is still PG television. They wouldn't let that fly. But actually, it's Netflix. Maybe. You might be able to say it once per show.
You know, Naomi said shit last week. Oh my God, you know, it's a big deal. It's still a PG product, so we have to keep mindful of that. And Triple H even said, look, man, even though we're on Netflix, we're still keeping things PG around here. So they might have some rare occasions where they start going a little overboard. They might try to test the waters, touch that line, just to try to, you know, get people involved and interested in it. But it's going to stay PG for the foreseeable future. You want that 14, you want that crazy shit, you head over to AEW. If you saw freaking Forbidden Door, all kinds of F-bombs. F-bombs, F-bombs, all day. All you got to do is watch the match between MJF and Adam Page. You're going to get all the F-bombs you could ever want. You know what I'm saying? My gosh. T says, fuck PG television. The crowd was wild. Oh, yeah, they were. Oh, yes, they were. We're going to talk about that. I think I mentioned this here and I took my notes. But we'll continue this. All right. Moving on. Jackie is in the back with CM Punk. Punk says he's just trying to make sure everyone's on the same page. He's just trying to make sure everybody can get the Clash in Paris without the Vision clapping cheeks and putting them out in the streets. Oh man. Punk pretty much is saying the same thing he's always been saying. He is obsessed of becoming champion. He had it in his hands and Seth Rollins took it away from him. It's like, just go and buy one, bro. You don't have to wrestle. You just gotta go buy one. That's all you gotta do. Just kidding. Oh man, dude, I looked at some of these prices for these title belts, these replica titles. AEW, bro, they want $700 for a replica title. I'm like, what? No way, bro. I'm like, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. It gets even worse on fucking Amazon. They're asking $900. I'm like, what? No, son. Can't do it. Can't do it. Times are hard right now. We can't do it. That's too much. You know how much you can get for $900? Like, hell no, we good. Didn't you pay over $500? Yeah, but that was like 20 years ago, bro. No, man, we got this one at WrestleMania 27. And then I picked this up like 5 years ago. And they were like $300. They were $300 each. Not $900. My God, Lee. They were $3, bro. Like, they want 3 times the price. They want $70,000 for front row seats, bro. Like, holy shit, dude. I'm not giving you a mortgage. I'm not giving you a deed to my house to watch WrestleMania. I'll spend that $29.99 to watch that shit over $70,000. No, sir. We good. Oh, my gosh. No, we're not doing that. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because that was WrestleMania 27. I was still in Cali at that point. Indeed. Let's see. Moving on. Basically, CM Punk says he's going to do whatever he needs to do to win. You know, the same kind of promo. That's why we didn't get into it. Because it's the same stuff, right? So anyways, moving on. Rhea Ripley's making her way to the ring to get ready for her match against Roxanne Perez. Before that even happens, you have Sheamus hyping up the match that he's going to have a Rusev at Clash in Paris. Sheamus basically says that he has made Rusev relevant again. Oh my goddamn. Rusev, damn. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of chatter out there that people are not really over with Rusev. Rusev, as much as I like him, he's a good dude. He's a hell of a wrestler. He was big time in AEW. They just didn't know what to do with him, which was very unfortunate because he was kicking ass in AEW. And hell, like even before he left AEW, he was WWE the first time. Oh, he was whooping ass. He was clapping that ass, bro. Like he was handling it, man. He was doing massive heel work in WWE. So for him to come back and for him to not get as much of a reception, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a creative thing. I mean, honestly, it could be because they have him feuding with Akira Kurosawa and freaking like Alpha Academy and the little folks. Ain't nobody trying to do that, man. We've seen that. He's a big dude. He knows what he's doing. Pair him up with a beast like Sheamus, and I think that makes sense, right? Then handle Sheamus, move up, start working on the U.S. title or the Intercontinental Championship. Do something. Maybe he needs to drop down to NXT or something. I don't know. But people are not feeling Rusev, and that's unfortunate because he's a good dude. He's a good dude. Anyways, Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez starts, and this one gets funky because Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, RP. I've had to like do what I had to do to keep notes, but I'm like, let's just keep this quick. This is too much. So Roxanne Perez was working on Rhea Ripley's left knee the entire match. So, that was the entire story of the match. She continued to work on Rhea Ripley's left knee, trying to soften it up and kind of make it hard for Rhea Ripley to move around. But that didn't matter. None of that mattered. At the end of the day, Rhea Ripley beats Roxanne Perez with the Riptide for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Of course, the match ends. Raquel Rodriguez gets involved. They both start beating up on Rhea Ripley. And then Io Sky comes to save the day yet again. She comes in. She helps out Rhea Ripley. She clears the ring. She does her jump kick. She gets up, goes crazy, and all this other stuff. And they're hugging it out in the ring. They stand tall. Judgment Day's out by the entryway, retreating. There you go for that. We go backstage. You have Bronson Reed fuming. He's pissed off that he's getting assaulted by Roman Reigns. And then you got Paul Heyman. You got Seth Rollins chilling in the back. Seth says he knows what Bronson Reed is made of. I made the right decision by bringing him to the Vision. Even though he beat the crap out of me with 100 different tsunamis, I respected that ass whooping. And that's why he's part of the Vision. And that's not what he said. That's just me paraphrasing. And he's going to have what it takes to destroy Roman Reigns at Clash in Paris. But tonight, Braun Breaker is going to destroy LA Knight. Seth says the Vision is on the verge of so much more. He takes his title and he storms out the locker room. Almost like he's done for the day. He's about to go home, take his little bus and take it back to the hotel or something. But that's not the case when it comes to Seth freaking Rollins. He always has a plan B, as you know. After that, AJ Styles comes out. He's about to get ready to go into the ring against Finn Balor. Now, this is actually the only match I was able to see actually live. I was in the middle of my work break. I'm like, let me turn on Netflix real quick to see what's happening. And I see AJ Styles and Finn Balor. I'm like, oh shit, this should be a decent match. You can't go wrong with both of those folks in there. Shout outs to the Bullet Club. But yeah, man, they do their thing. I didn't keep too much track of it. At the end of the day, AJ Styles beats Finn Balor via the Styles Clash. Nobody kicks out of the Styles Clash. Gets the win there. We go backstage. You have Rhea Ripley thanking Io for saving her. As Rhea walks away, there comes the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka is pissed off. She is fuming. She's like, why are you helping Rhea Ripley? Weren't you supposed to break this off? Didn't we have an agreement that this is not supposed to be a thing anymore between you and Rhea Ripley? You belong to us. We are a family. This is us. And, they're speaking in Japanese. Am I missing something? Nope. Didn't miss anything. Asuka's just upset, pissed off. She storms off. Asks Kairi Sane to trust her, to please trust her. Kairi Sane says she's sorry. She apologizes. And she storms away, going towards Asuka. Io's by herself yet again. We move on to the next segment in the show, which is Jey Uso in the back with Roman Reigns. Roman says that the last thing that Jey ever wants him to do is trust CM Punk. Roman says that Jay has helped everyone long enough. He's been doing his thing. He's been helpful, but now his time that he needs to get his in himself. Roman says that it's about capturing these moments, and Jay needs to go out there and get his. He needs to go and do himself. He needs to go and handle his. It's time to go, make the moments and get your title shots. That's what he needs to do. After that, we have a segment with Bayley. She's sitting there in the middle, crazy. She listening to the voices in her head, almost like a Randy Orton. But this is a whole different level of voices in her head. It's like a vignette of the good side of Bayley, the one with the hair on one side and, the balloons and the streamers coming out, happy-go-lucky Bayley. And then you got the heel side of Bayley, the one who cut the hair and said fuck those streamers and popped them with a stick and all this stuff. The one that didn't give a shit. They're beefing amongst each other inside her head. It's weird. And she essentially tells them to stop bickering inside her head. Thank you, Hugger Bayley. And she doesn't know what she needs. Basically, her face side and her heel side are arguing among one another, and she tells them to stop, and everything stops. And then we move on to the next segment of the show. You have Adam Pearce in the back. Judgment Day shows up. Dom, JD, and Finn. Dom shows up and is like, look, man, this feud between AJ Styles and I, man, we have to just bury this. We need to be done. We got to get rid of this AJ Styles problem. What are we going to do about it, Adam? What are we going to do? Adam Pearce was like, you know what? For the first time ever, I agree with you, sir. We need this feud to end. So this is what we're going to do. Monday Night Raw in Paris. Dominic Mysterio, AJ Styles, Intercontinental Championship match. Let's go. And when you take a look at the details, when you look at the video, you see the segment taking place. You see Finn Balor in the back. He's actually smirking. He's kind of like... like he's happy that Dom, is having to go deal with AJ Styles. Like he secretly... obviously, Finn Balor has something planned, something really behind the scenes. We don't know exactly what it is. Obviously, I feel like Finn, he just wants complete control of Judgment Day, right? And he can't really get that with Liv not being around. He is acting like an advocate. He is acting like a cheerleader. He's trying to hype up the women, Raquel and Roxanne. He obviously has JD's back. But Dom is just that one. The dude in the middle is like, bro, you're over. You're Intercontinental Champion. Congratulations. You're over at the crowd. I'm not sure about you, bro. He keeps catching him having conversations with El Grande Americano. So it's like, what's going on here? What's really going on? Developing stuff that's probably going to play out in the next few weeks. We'll have to see. Next, we have Braun. He's on his way. Braun Breaker. He's on his way to go face LA Knight for the main event of the evening. But before he can even get to the gorilla area, Roman Reigns just comes out of nowhere, RKO style, and just shoves him into, a whole bunch of shipping boxes or whatever, the containers on the side, and starts beating up on Braun Breaker. But Bronson Reed gets involved. He's about to throw him towards a pole that's right in the middle of the floor. Roman reverses and hits Bronson Reed, starts beating up on him. Security gets involved, breaks him up. But then LA Knight shows up, starts beating up on Braun Breaker. Still backstage. Then they start beating each other up by the gorilla. They start going out stage. They start going into the ring. They're constantly just beating up. And LA Knight continues his beat up on Braun Breaker as this continues on. Main event. LA Knight is getting ready to finish Braun with the BFT, but then Seth comes out with his music to distract LA Knight. LA Knight goes out to the floor. He chases Seth Rollins. He ends up running into a spear by Braun Breaker. Braun wins via pinfall after hitting Knight with another spear in the middle of the ring. Then after the bell rings, Seth starts beating up on LA Knight. From there, Jey Uso comes out and he starts to come in to save LA Knight, but they continue to beat up on each other to a point where the Vision has the upper hand. From there, CM Punk comes out, beats up on Braun Breaker. CM Punk and Seth are going at it in the middle of the ring. Seth and Braun retreats with CM Punk standing tall. Then we just kind of wait for just a moment. And while the Vision's starting to, retreat and they're backing up, the crowd's chanting, Seth's a pussy. Netflix, this Netflix, man. We don't need them blurping pussy now. Come on now. You can't be blurping that word out. It's Netflix, man. We pay that premium price. We get the premium experience. But they're out there chanting, Seb's a pussy. And then what else? Knight gets, they're scuffling. And you see, as you have CM Punk, you have LA Knight getting up, you have Jey Uso, they're, recovering, they're up in the ring. They're like, yo, y'all need to chill because you got CM Punk, LA Knight kind of feuding with one another. It's like, bro, they're about to clash, they're about to throw hands. Jay just trying to be the middle person, like, look, y'all need to chill, but things get out of hand in the ring. And while this is happening, Seth's telling the Vision, like, look, man, we ain't even got to do nothing. They're doing it all by themselves. They're beating up on each other all on their own. We did our job. We can head on back. Let's go back to the hotel. We did what we needed to do. We started the flame. Now it's on fire in the ring. Knight ends up getting super kicked by Jey Uso. After that happens, you got Jay sitting right next to CM Punk. They're standing right beside each other, just hanging out and chilling. But then Jay's like, fuck this. Boom. Super kick CM Punk, hits the ground. Jey Uso stands tall. That's the end of the show, folks. Credits roll, and that is what it is. There you go, man. There you go. So hope y'all enjoyed that, man. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too detailed. We didn't have all the moves in there. In fact, we barely had any moves in there, to be honest with you. But that ended up working out anyways. It was a good mix. We started the stream talking about the Raha Jackson Psycho situation that happened. Yes, I don't even remember if it happened yesterday or Saturday, but that was just rough. But we had to talk about it and kind of break down my side of things and go from there. And then we went through this review, and it was a good time. It looks like we're getting some good feedback, and I appreciate that. Shout out to El Cholesterol, as always. Always got to send some love to the homie Tito, bro. Always. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
I said, give me a hell yeah.
Let's see what's happening. There we go. We back. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I think you should go straight military style and stick to calling certain wrestlers by last name. So you can go Perez, you can go Ripley. That's better than Roxanne and Raquel and Rhea and all the R's. So you go Rollins, there's Punk, there's Uso. You can go Kingston, you can go Penta. He doesn't have a last name. Pentagon in other promotions, but Penta here in the WWE. That's something to consider. So I will definitely think about that as we continue to write on. I'm not sure if we're gonna. I'm not sure if we're gonna cover SmackDown. We might. We'll see how things are. Things are gonna get a little bit more interesting around the household. We got to get this thing cleaned up and ready to go. It's not too bad. It's just maintenance. I mean, just make sure everything's good when we have visitors over in the next 2 weeks, and go from there. Yep. Breaker and Reed. Yeah, because Braun and Bronson. Yeah, it's like, man, that's tough. That's tough as hell. That's definitely tough as hell to remember. So, is there anything else? Anything else I want to talk about today? Not really. We've been at this for an hour and 20 minutes. I think shit, we can just chill for another 10 minutes and call it good. We can get one more viewer over on Kick. We can actually host somebody. That will be fun. I would love to host somebody in this bitch. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Sounds like you ain't gonna be streaming that much while family is visiting. Well, mainly because this room's gonna be occupied, so I won't be able to. I mean, the only way I'll be able to do it is IRL. And IRL right now ain't the business. No. Not with all the nonsense that's happening, all the tomfoolery, all the bullshittery that's happening. Like every day has been some nonsense. From paintball shooting to beating the crap out of somebody, like to freaking spraying somebody with water hose at Home Depot. It's crazy right now. All for the sake of clicks and views and money. Makes no sense, but it is what it is, man. When you plant the seed, they just keep growing and don't stop. We call these weeds, man. These weeds, they come back. You think you pull them from the root, aka you ban them, but if the ban's only for 7 days, that's called a weed, because it just comes back next week. And it's just a pain in the ass you got to deal with over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Man, we were up till what, 6 at one point over here. Let's see. We were up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Long time ago. But yeah, this room's not going to be available when the fam's here. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to live stream with this setup. If I'm able to, it will have to be RL with the phone. And the last time we did it, it was successful, but it only worked on one platform. There is another, I know there's apps out there that allow you to multi-stream through different stuff. So we have to figure that out. I figured out what was happening at the gym, because I wasn't able to get my internet working at the gym, but we got that working now. But I did take a look at those speeds, bro. Whew, it's not good. It's not good internet speeds over there, but I guess it is better than nothing. And maybe we can start doing some workout IRL streams or something. I'm not gonna be doing too much. What I've been doing to kind of ease back into gym stuff is we have been walking. We're just getting onto the treadmill when they're available, and we're literally walking for 60 minutes straight. No stopping. We speed it up, we slow it down, we do an incline, we do, regular, we run, we slow it down, incline. Like, we're just mixing it up to keep it interesting. And I'm listening to podcasts while I do this, or listening to music, so I don't bore myself. I do have to think about this energy stuff that I'm taking. So shout outs to Glitch Energy, by the way. Good stuff. Problem is, it is full of it has a crap ton of caffeine in it, and caffeine and water, at least in my case, is not a good mix. It's not that it's bad, but I end up having to use I have to run to the bathroom constantly. It just flows through me, bro. It's so what I've been doing recently is I've been going to the gym without taking any energy. I just water, get a snack or something to eat, so I'm not going there hungry. At least not going in there starving, right? You don't want to go in there starving. I know people work out fasting, they'll wake up first thing, get the water, and head straight to the gym and do what you gotta do. In fact, I did that this past Saturday. I woke up, first thing I did, got ready, went to the gym. Didn't eat, drunk some water, of course. We took water with us, so we stay hydrated. Went straight to the gym, hit the treadmill for 60 minutes, no stop. All those variations, re-randomized the workout. It was a hell of a workout. We burnt 700 calories. And then on top of that, your boy wasn't even done, man. We weren't done. We went to the basketball court, After that, like I came straight home, grabbed my basketball, got right back into the truck, went to the park. It was like 94 degrees, but that we don't make excuses around here. Because it was hot. Like, yeah, like I know where I stay. It's gonna be hot. So you either have to deal with it or you just make excuses. We don't make excuses around here. We go out there when it's mid 90s. If it's 100, just play in the shade, you're gonna be okay. Like, you know, sunscreen, hydrate, you're gonna be okay. If it gets too crazy, too hot, we don't mess around with that. You know, we're smart. We don't go over the limit. We know what our limits are. We gotta pay attention. Yeah. Oh shit, we're at 6 now. Holy shit, man. Hold on. Yeah, we got 5 minutes left, man. I'm sticking to it. We got 5 minutes left. If we can get as many viewers in this mug, we're gonna go ahead and host somebody. That'd be awesome. It would be really, really cool. I can't say the same thing for Twitch though, man. We're streaming in 2K 1440p over there on Twitch, and ain't a goddamn motherfucker over there. That's crazy. Crazy work. I know they got that bot problem they working out on now. Apparently, there's news out there that they implemented this bot shit over on Twitch. People are raging and rioting in the streets. Oh my god, I can't believe it. My channel was lost like 70% of its views. Probably because it's being viewed by it, bro. Don't act surprised. You knew what this was. And it's funny because there's a lot of folks who haven't been streaming while they've been working on the bot stuff, because they don't want to go live and all of a sudden there are hundreds of thousands of viewers that watch them live is now like 10,000, if that. They don't want to get blasted and become news on Dexerito on X because someone who had 100,000 viewers live all of a sudden has 10, dropped like a stone. Interesting. Interesting how that works. But it is what it is. So that, like, the folks who stream normally, who just don't give a shit about the numbers, they ain't got nothing to worry about. The only people who are bitching and crying and complaining and whining on X are the motherfuckers who were viewbotting in the first place. If you haven't been doing that nonsense, you wouldn't have nothing to worry about. And you just continue to stream as normal. Things happen, cool. They don't, whatever. It's business as usual. It don't affect me none. It affected sure as hell a lot of other folks. And so hopefully, here's the thing though. Here's the other thing. This can have some massive implications, right? Ramifications. These folks, there's news that Twitch lost like almost a quarter of their viewership after they implemented this stuff. That's crazy. How you lose 20% of your viewership overnight? How? That's how rampant that bot shit has been going on over there. Crazy. Wild stuff. You can't make this shit up. It's crazy. That is what it is, man. They made that bed, now they gotta lie in that shit. There's rumors that they may have reversed what they did because they were shocked that they lost a quarter of their viewership. Because you can imagine, you lose a quarter of your viewership, you don't, not only do you have to report back to, you know, the folks up top, Amazon, like, what the fuck's going on? Why you lose a quarter of your viewerships overnight? You now got to report to like sponsors and all these partners that you made all this stuff with. You got to like report to them. They're like, what the fuck happened over here on Twitch? Why the fuck is a quarter of your viewership gone? You're telling me the bot problem is that big a problem over here that you lost 25%? They're not 25, but like it's like we're talking single digits up to like 22%. Rounded up, you got a quarter. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy. They are beside themselves right now. They don't know what to do. But anyways, rumor is they canceled. They may have either one canceled what they rolled out, or the bot services have already found a way around this shit. Because the numbers started, it's almost like the stock market. When it came to the viewership, it was like, whoop. And then 2 days later, oh, it was back up again. Oh, okay. Oh man, it's wild, bro. It's wild. But let's see. 10 seconds left, but we still sitting at 4, bro. Still sitting at 4. It's cool. It's totally cool. I respect it. I respect it, man. We keeping this shit up. Wait. Hold on. We gonna go ahead and handle our business. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out and chilling. Don't you go nowhere, man. Don't you go no goddamn where. We gonna go ahead and host somebody. Let's see who it's gonna be. Let's see who's gonna be. That's actually not. We're gonna go ahead and hit up Necrocatic Games when we set up the opportunity. Shout outs to Necrocatic Games. Always a good dude. Always a hustler. Always a grinder. A game developer. A bass player. He's a good dude, man. Shout outs to Necrocatic Games. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, folks. Peace out.